Hello students, this is our second video of chapter chemical reaction and equations. I hope everyone has watched the first video. Please subscribe my channel so that every video you can get. These videos are very helpful to revise the chapters during examinations. In the first video, we have discussed about what is chemical reaction, what is chemical equation, how can we write chemical equation, what is balanced equation, why and how we can balance the chemical equation. So in the second video we can discuss about the types of chemical reactions. So in the slide you can see there are 5 types of chemical reaction. To classify a chemical reaction there are 5 types. The very first one is combination reaction. It is also known as synthesis reaction. Second one is decomposition reaction. The third one is displacement reaction. We can further classify displacement reaction as single displacement and double displacement reaction or neutralization reaction. The last one is redox reaction. So dear students, I will explain each and every types of reaction with examples and with greater explanation. So first of all, combination reaction. So it is a self-explanatory word, combination. You know that combination means if you combine something, that is a combination. So the very first one is combination reaction. We can understand that what is the meaning of this reaction by the word of combination here. Reactants combine to form a single product. So that is a combination reaction. Reactants combine to form a single product. You already know that what are reactants and what are products. Reactants which are present in the left hand side and products which are present in the right hand side. So the general form of combination reaction is A plus B, it gives AB. That means two compound or elements combine together to form a single product. So here there is an example. When calcium oxide reacts with water to form calcium hydroxide, it's one of the example of combination reaction. Calcium oxide, that is a lime. So you can say that in Tamil chunambu, in Hindi chuna, lime combined with water to form lime water, that is calcium. You can also known as slake lime, calcium hydroxide, CaOH all twice. The another example is carbon react with oxygen. Yeah, you can say that carbon burns with oxygen to form carbon dioxide. So these two are the examples of combination reaction. So here one more thing I want to explain, that the combination reactions generally exothermic reaction. Already I told you what is thermo means heat, exo means heat is evolved. The reaction in which heat is evolved, heat is evolving during the chemical reaction, that reaction is known as exothermic reaction. So combination reaction is a exothermic reaction. Okay, so what is combination reaction? I already told you, when two reactants combine to form a single product. So that is what combination reaction. Already I explained about the characteristics of chemical reaction. One of the characteristics is when heat is evolved, but here the heat is involved. Heat is evolved during the chemical reaction. Okay, yes. And the second example of combination reaction. The second example of combination reaction is when sodium reacts with chlorine. You know that the symbol of sodium is Na, and symbol of chlorine is Cl. Here chlorine gas, that is why it is Cl2. When sodium reacts with chlorine to form sodium chloride, you know that it is a balanced chemical equation. So I want to remember you what is a balanced chemical equation and what is in the previous video I have explained about what is skeleton equation and why we have to balance a chemical equation. So here this equation is a balanced chemical equation, and skeleton equation of this balanced chemical equation is Na plus Cl2, it gives NaCl. To balance it, we have to put 2 in front of Na and 2 in front of NaCl. So this way we can balance a chemical equation. So while balancing chemical equation, I already told you it is a hit and trial method, and every chemical equation should be balanced. Why? I already told you, to satisfy the law of conservation of mass. I already told you. So I already told you, you have to find the answer of law of conservation of mass from the 9th chapter. Okay. So here it is very beautifully explained. 2Na, and even you can see that bond breaking and new bond formation also you can see here. See here in chlorine gas is made up of 2 atoms of chlorine, and there is a bond, chemical bond between the chlorine atoms, and new bonds formed between sodium and chlorine, NaCl. So in the previous video I have explained that the chemical reaction involves bond breaking and new bond formation. Okay, and here you can clearly see that there is a chemical reaction, and this reaction also known as combination reaction. And second one is decomposition reaction. So this also self-explanatory word. And what does it mean? Decomposition. Decompose means split into. So it is also a self-explanatory word. When a single reactant split into 2 or more products, that reaction is known as decomposition reaction. Even suppose in the question, suppose they will ask what define decomposition reaction, you have to say that a single reactant split into 2 or more products. Okay, and the general formula, it is given that AB, it gives A plus B. So that is a general formula of decomposition reaction. And the beautifully they have explained the with one example. Water splits into hydrogen and oxygen. Okay, water, so it is a decomposition reaction. Water splits into hydrogen. I will explain later. I will explain little more. Okay, so you can classify decomposition reaction as thermal decomposition, electrolysis decomposition, and photolytic decomposition reaction. So dear students, we can classify the decomposition reaction as thermal decomposition. I already told you thermo means heat. So decomposition takes place by the help of heat. If you apply heat, decomposition takes place, that is thermal decomposition. The decomposition takes place by applying electricity, that is electrolysis. That is given in the slide, H2O. Actually, if you put electric current, what will happen? The hydrogen, it will split into hydrogen as well as oxygen. That is electrolysis decomposition reaction. And photolytic, you know that photo, that means light. So photolytic reaction, a decomposition reaction means when decomposition reaction takes place in the presence of sunlight, not only sunlight, light. That is a photolytic decomposition reaction. So further I will explain this by giving more examples, the decomposition reaction. And here the same decomposition reaction, they have explained the decomposition reaction by the help of animation. Okay, So the same thing, it is electrolysis. This is what? Electrolysis. You can see here, I already told you it is a balanced chemical equation. So you can see that already it is written 2 in front of H2O and 2 in front of H2. So this is the method of balancing. Once again I want to explain, it's a hit and trial method. So you have to try many equations to balance. Okay, so it is to become a skill to balance the chemical equation, because suppose you are writing chemical equation that should be balanced. Without balancing anybody, so you can't write any chemical equation. So this is electrolysis. Here you can see the bond breaking and new bond formation also. You can see here in water the bond between oxygen and hydrogen, and that bonds will break into new bonds form between hydrogen and hydrogen and oxygen and oxygen. So these are the bond breaking and the new bond formation also. So the next one is photolytic decomposition reaction. So even dear students, you must know that earlier the camera, we have used a film roll. Okay, so long ago people used only black and white photography. In that photography there was a film in which silver chloride or silver bromide used to be used. Okay, so that reaction is known as photolytic decomposition reaction. What will happen? Suppose silver chloride or silver bromide is applied in the film roll. If you click the photograph, some part will expose to sunlight. That is depend upon the how much light will be reflected from a person or from a thing. Okay, so what will happen? Decomposition reaction takes place. So negative will be formed by the help of photolytic decomposition reaction. So dear student, you must know that there are many type of decomposition reaction: thermal decomposition, electrolysis decomposition, and photolytic decomposition. Lysis process. Yes, see here it is electrolysis process. In the beaker there is a water and there are two electrodes, one is anode, other one is cathode. You know that positive electrode is known as anode and negative electrode is known as cathode. Okay, if you apply current, what will happen? In water, bond will break down and new bond will form. Okay, and in anode, what will happen? Oxygen will form. In cathode, hydrogen gas will form. So this is the electrolysis process. So I will publish the third video also, that is a final video of this chapter. So I will publish 2 or 3 days the third video. So 3 videos for this chapter. So you have to watch again and again. You can understand the chapter well. Then you can try to answer the questions from the back side. So this is a way you have to, even those who are following NCERT, so you can find out some more questions and answers from the NCERT, and those who are from the matriculation, you can see the Samachi book. Lot of questions you can see in the Samachi book. Okay, so don't find the answer from the net. So you have to find your own answers. You have to write your own answers. So this way you have to learn. So we will see in the next video. I will definitely in 2-3 days I will publish the third video also for this chapter. And thank you. Have a nice day.